with Arts Garage. In this video, I'll be working on the Team Associated B74.2 Bag 5. So let's get started. Alright, so we're going to set up the front shock tower first. And the front shock tower is going to be this one, as a part number 92314. So we're going to need this. We're going to need 2 shock bushings. They all seem to be the same size. So we're going to need 2 of those. We're going to need 2 M3 locknuts. We're going to need 2 8mm ball studs. So they're all the same size. We're also going to need these M3x22 low profile socket head cap screws. I think that's what they're called. So they're going to have this low profile head. All right. So we're going to install the ball studs in the inside row in the middle. So inside row in the middle. And then we're going to install the shock bushings on the outermost holes, here and here. So it doesn't say to, but we're going to add some blue Loctite onto these screws, onto these low profile screws, since these are aluminum and we don't want them to back out. That's a size 7 size wrench that I'm putting on to the shock bushing to hold it. And the ball studs are going to be facing the same side as the heads of these screws. So let's take note of that. So the front tower is ready to install into the chassis, so we can set that aside for now. Now we can get our rear shock tower ready. So we're going to need 2 shock bushings, 2 of the M3x22 low profile head screws, 2 nylock nuts, and 2 of the ball studs. We're also going to need the rear body mount and an extra screw, but I'm going to install these first and then I'll move on to doing the body mount. So we're going to install the shock bushings in the middle hole on the top, here and here, and then also the middle hole here and here on the bottom of the shock tower for the ball studs. And the head of the screw and the ball stud should be facing the same direction. And again, we're going to apply some Loctite on that screw to make sure this ball stud or this shock bushing doesn't get loose. So there's the rear shock tower. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the rear body mount, which is this piece, and we're going to get the -2 wing mount, which is going to be this one. So this has a -2, this one has a 0. So we're gonna get this one off the parts tree along with the body mount, and then we can install it onto the chassis. So we're going to install these two pieces together, and we're going to need an M3x12 button head cap screw. So we're going to take a look at this. We want the body mount is going to be on the same side as the shock bushings, and it looks like this lip here is going to install below, like so. All right, and then our M12 or M3x12 box head cap screw is going to go through, and it's actually going to install in this hole in the wing mount. And you don't need to crank down on it too hard. Once you're shouldered up, you're good, because you're going into plastic. And then next what we're going to do is we're just going to line up these holes here and the holes for these holes right here. And now we can actually install this onto the chassis. So we'll do the front first, and then we'll go ahead and do the rear. So for the front, we're going to need 4 M3x10 button head cap screws. And it looks like the shock tower is going to install like so, with the shock bushings facing the front of the vehicle. And we're going to install the 4 screws in these holes, and they're going to install in, looks like, these 4 holes here. Yeah. So it's going to install it just like so. So now we can install the rear shock tower. The screws are going to install in these 4 holes, and the screws are going to go through these holes on the shock tower. And so we're going to need 2 M3x12 button head screws and 2 M3x10 button head screws. So the M3x10 screws are going to go in these 2 holes, and the M3x12 millimeter screws are going to go through the wing mount. So there's some leftover pieces on the parts tree from bag 5. Looks like it's going to be the wing buttons, the piece that attaches on the wing mount that can actually change the inclination of the wing, and it looks like the new fan mount is also on here. So just take note of that. We also have a 0 offset wing mount, so take note of that. Make sure you don't lose this. Maybe take them off the parts tree, put them in a bag, and label it bag 5, so you can refer back and get these when you're ready for them later on. But that concludes bag 5. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe if you did. No issues with putting this bag together, so we can go ahead and move on. So stay tuned for bag 6, which will be my next video. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.